I'm Ellen McCauley. I'm at Pray It Off in Syracuse, New York, which many of you on Blogland might have noticed on the news that President Biden is here because we have a happening CNY town. So yes, and part of that happening is Pray It Off. And I was very impressed when one of the new members, Amy, said to me, you know all the stuff you put out there, I picked up this thing called the prayer process and I absolutely love it. And my husband would like one for himself as well. And I'm like, oh my gosh, not only did she use one of the tools I had here, her husband wants one too. And so I thought, how can I make that tool readily accessible to everyone in the group? So I have it right here. And I say what you will about Matthew Kelly, I happen to be a fan. Anyone that promotes positivity in the Catholic Church, I'm a fan. And I've read a lot of his books. But this is the prayer process, which I love. And he starts it off by saying, be bold and be Catholic. And the first process is gratitude. You know, you get away from the gimme, gimme, gimme. You say, Lord, thank you. Thank you that I, might not have lost weight this week, but I feel good. I feel healthy. I've got energy. I could get my carcass on my bike and ride 20 miles at 68 years old. Praise God for that. Thank you that my mom and I were talking about Jeopardy and hooting and hollering about how the person, Ronan, did a true daily double and she could have lost it all. That's great that I can talk to my mom. Thank you for those gifts. And just be aware, revisit your life for the past 24 hours and kind of see where you weren't the best version of yourself. Like when the person called on the phone and you say to them, well, hi, you're calling about, your mom and how can I help? Well, it really started in 1978 and then I went, oh my gosh, are we going to do 44 years? Because I have so much work to do here. And so I could find myself already beginning to start to lose my patience. But I ended up being patient, but not as patient as I could have been. And then when first thing this morning before work even started, when I called Sirius Radio and said, hi, I want the same plan I had last year for the same price. And I think you're going to give it to me because otherwise I'll quit. And if I quit, then you're just going to bug the heck out of me to come back and you're going to give me a lower rate than I even had last year. So it's in our best interest for both of us for me to get the same plan I had last year at the same price. And she's like, I can't do that. I'm like, yeah, you can. So I wasn't as patient with her as I could have been, but I did get the same plan for the same price. So, but the thing is, I have to learn to be a little bit more patient, because I did say to her several times, I don't think you're listening to my words. Because she wasn't. She kept trying to sell me another plan. So, look at the past 24 hours. How have you not been the best version of yourself? Don't belabor it. Don't beat yourself up. Don't say, oh, I'm going to go to hell over this. Say, you know what? I'm going to try to be more patient tomorrow. I'm going to try to treat these companies that I call and I'm on hold forever and I'm busy with a little bit more kindness. I'm going to try and be a better version of Ellen McCauley. And then look at significant moments. Learn something new every day. Like yesterday, I learned that Julius Caesar never wrote anything that wasn't in a code. He made up this Caesarean code, and the code was, like if the letter was A, he would go 13 letters in the alphabet and use that letter for the A. And it was this complicated code, and he could even talk in that code and write in that code. I never knew that, and I thought it was fascinating. And I said, how wonderful that at 68 I can learn something new. That was kind of a small but significant moment about life and about the excitement about learning something new. And also, ask God to forgive any wrong you've committed, not only in the past 24 hours, but in your life. And just ask for the peace that we all want. Bob and I always say it, all we want is some stinking peace. We're not asking for much, Lord, just some peace. And freedom. Speak with God about how He is inviting you to change your life. And this is where the Pray It Off comes in. None of us wants to watch what we eat. One person today said I eat bird food. And the thing is, I don't quite eat bird food, but my body doesn't need a lot of food. I want it. I want the food. There's nothing wrong with me not wanting it. But when I succumb to it, I gain weight. So it's my body saying to me, you know, Ellen, you don't really need a lot of food. Do I like that? No, but it's a fact. So in order to change and lose weight and be healthier, I have to adjust my mind to a body that doesn't need a lot of work. I also have to adjust my mind to the fact that I'm going to have to forgive myself for the mistakes I've made in my life. When I reflect on the trauma that I've experienced, the trauma that I've been a part of, maybe the trauma I've even precipitated because of mental health issues at the time or anxiety, I have to ask God for forgiveness and the ability to change and be there as a catalyst to help others. And that's where we end, by lifting up those others. Lord, I lift up my mom. I lift up Emily. I lift up my Pray It Off members who I love like they were family. I lift up all those who have gone before, and I name them by name. And then you can end it with the Our Father, whatever prayer you want. But you see the steps. You're thankful. You look at your life. You look at the moments. You ask for some peace, because don't we all want some peace? And then we look at the freedom to change, the freedom to grow. We forgive others and we forgive ourselves. I'm done.